Hi everyone, and welcome to our crash course in indie game development. So we are 4 weeks in, and so far what we should have is what I'm going to show you. Okay, so firstly I want you to go to assetstore.unity.com up the top here, assetstore.unity.com. All right, and you should open up the asset store here. And then you should have these 3 assets added to your assets. Now make sure you are logged in first, okay? Because if you are not logged in, then they're not going to save to your assets. And then what I want you to do is the 3 assets that you should have downloaded are the 8K Skybox pack. So do a search for that in your search bar. And just make sure that you have clicked free assets, because remember, we're doing free assets. We don't want you to have to pay anything. And here you can see it here, 8K Skybox pack free. Now if you haven't already added it to your assets, you press add to assets here. Okay, and then the next one that I want you to add is the modular first person And if you search that up, modular first person, again, we go to free assets. And this one here is the modular first person controller. Okay, so again, if you haven't already added it to your assets, it'll say add to assets here. And then the third one is your super character controller. Okay, so we go super character controller. We make sure we have free assets clicked, and this is the super character controller. Now this super character controller is just our backup plan because we've been having some issues with the modular first person controller. So if that one doesn't work, we're using this one. And again, add to assets, and that will show it there. Now once you have completed this task, you should also have gone in and had a look for another 2 to 5 assets that you want to add, and that could be maybe you want some footsteps. Okay, so you would search up something like footsteps, go to free assets, and you might want to add in something like footsteps. I've added in the footsteps snow and grass because my world, I want it to have snow and grass in it. You may have searched up abandoned, or you might have searched up trees or something like that. So it's up to you what other 3 options you use. But what I want you to do is have a good look in the asset store just to see if there is anything there that takes your attention. All right, and don't forget to press the free assets. Now once you have done that, you can go into Unity. So you load up Unity Hub, all right, and then you go new, which is over here. So you would click on new to start a new project. So when you click on new, it should take you to the options. You want to click 3D because the assets that we are downloading work better in 3D. All right, and then I want you to give it a project name. So 7-minute game. Now when you are creating these, I just want you to remember that we want to have versions as well. So say for example, you might call this one version 1. All right, and then when you go and add more stuff, you might make a copy of that and then call that version 2. All right, so you might duplicate that project and then add stuff to it and call it version 2. So I want you to get used to doing this so that we have some sort of version control. It also helps with errors. So if you get an error in one that you are trying to change, you can revert back to the earlier version. All right, so once you have given it a name, click on create. All right, and I've already created one. So once it opens up, this is your sample scene. Now, there are a couple of windows that we need to add into here. I like to have my hierarchy on the left here. These are all of the things that are currently in your scene, okay? So this is what our scene is called. So say, for example, if we were doing different levels, there would be different scenes here, and you can change the name on that. And then we have the main camera. So the camera is the view that the game looks. You can add in more cameras later, but right now we just have the one game. So when you press play up the top here, that camera is going to preview what you see. And then this directional light is just the sunlight that's coming in. Okay, so those are your basic things that you have in your scene before you start creating anything. Now, once we are in here, what I want you to do is to make sure you have your package manager in. I'll show you how to access the asset store in here as well. And then I want you to also add in your lighting, okay? So first things first, we go into window, which is up the top here. Here is your package manager. So you open that up. Here is your asset store. You open that up. And here is your lighting settings. So you go into rendering and you open up lighting settings. Now I already have those open here. I put the asset store and the package manager in these tabs here so that I can easily access them. And then I've put the lighting tab over here because it is something that we could be constantly changing. All right. Now go to your package manager. So you can again go to your package manager this way. And what I want you to do is go to the drop down menu up the top here and change it to My Assets. So when you click on My Assets, the things that will come up are the things that you've added to your assets. Now, if this isn't working, it's because you're not logged in. So you may want to log in here and just make sure that you are logged in to be able to have access to those assets. All right. Now, what I want you to do is import. So you'll need to download any assets that you've added. So here you can see I've already downloaded this skybox one here. I've downloaded that one. I've downloaded the footsteps. And I've downloaded the modular first person controller. And I've downloaded the super character controller as well. Now, you only need to download those once into Unity. And then you need to actually import them into any new scenes that you're doing. So I'm going to import the 8K Skybox pack. And then I'm going to import. So you have to you download, import, but you only download once. So then it's import. And then I'm going to do the modular first person controller. Now I have found that a lot of people have had issues with this modular first person controller. So I've found another one and done the super character controller instead. That is the basic one that we need. So that's the one I'm going to go with for now. But if you want to import the modular first person controller, there is a demo scene which has a little obstacle course in it. I'm not going to use the obstacle course, so I'm just going to go straight to the super character controller to import it. All right, now we'll just wait until this is finished importing. Once that's downloaded or imported, I'm now going to do my super character controller. So I go to import here and I import that. And then I go over here to import. And so that is how you add your assets so that they are imported into Unity. All right, so we'll just wait for that to import. So once those have imported, if you go down to your project down the bottom here and click on assets, you will see that they have been imported into your game. All right, into your scene. So what I want you to do next is I want you to go back to scene. Now we haven't got anything for our person to run on. So what I want you to do is I want you to create a new terrain. So we go over here to the plus sign, and we click on that, and then we go down to 3D objects. So this is where you can create objects and then you manipulate them in Inspector, right? But right now I just want to create a terrain. So here's our terrain. We're going to have something for the character to be able to run on. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go into Published, which is that Super Character Controller, Super Character, Super Character, and then you can choose either the first person controller or you can choose the third person controller. It's up to you. I'm going to choose the third person controller, and I just click and drag it onto the platform. Now if you don't put it onto the platform, it is in danger of falling into nothing when you press play. So if we put it here, you know it's above the platform. And then what we want to do is we just want to check that our Y value is not a negative number, okay? Because if you think of the X and Y axes like this, here's your X, and that's the flat platform, and this is your Y, so that's going up. All right, so if we change that Y value, if it's negative, it's going to go and drop below the terrain. All right, and then of course we also have Z, and Z is the part that goes across here. So we've got like X, Y, and then Y is your height, and Z and X are your platform. All right, so then I'll just delete this. We can just test out our controller by pressing play. Now, the reason my screen has gone green is because I found that I was doing a lot of changes while I was in play mode and they don't save. So you need to make sure that you exit play mode before you can carry on with your changes. Now right here we're just going to use the WASD keys. So W to move forward, yay, and jump. And as you can see, I'm moving around, I'm jumping, I'm running forwards, I'm jumping, I'm jumping. Okay, so that's what I want. I want you to be able to move in your game. So that's the first thing that you need to be able to do. And then secondly, what we're going to do is we are going to change your sky background. All right, yeah, there is a sky, but I want to change it. So we go back into Assets, we open the 8K Skybox, we don't do that. What you want to do is you want to go into your lighting tab. Now if you are using a different version of Unity other than 2019, you will see environment up here. So I'll just show you there. You will see environment up here. So just click on environment. As you can see here, I already have environment open. All right, and what we want to do is we want to go over to the skybox material over here and we want to click on this little circle. So when we click on the circle, you will have all of these options come up. You can see the default ones which are already there, and then you will see the ones that we've downloaded. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose a skybox that you like, that you think is going to suit your scene. All right, now I quite like that red one. I think I will change the color a little bit later on, but I'll be able to show you how to do that. So once you have got this done, then you have caught up and you're ready to go. But again, I also want you to make sure that you have downloaded a couple more assets and just had to play around with those. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.